Hello and welcome to another episode of the Hughes Views 414 podcast conversation. So glad that all of you could join us, especially you folks on the YouTube chat, those that are streaming live from wherever you are, and those who may be watching the rebroadcast of this program. It is mostly a political conversation because I think through policy and participation do people gain some kind of advantage, or they are able to, hopefully as a group, make up for past wrongs. And you can go back far enough in American history and see the different groups that have been cast aside, that have been marginalized, that have been disrespected. If you ever go and look at like old laws and some of the stuff that they could do, like it was legal to beat your wife on certain days, like really, really crazy stuff. And what most people don't get about America is those laws stay on the books and they become a permanent fixture and a permanent part of tradition and culture until something comes along to change those old ways. And this is the part that most people just don't seem to get. We think that, obviously as time goes on, people change and things get better. People find ways to compromise. We become more accepting of diversity, just as there are more people of different backgrounds. But if those laws are still on the books, they have to be changed or updated or eliminated. The democracy that we have here, which most people don't give a shit about or don't understand, it exists in a way that it can be updated and it can be changed. That's why the Constitution has amendments. The U.S. Constitution could be amended, and it has. Not enough times, only 27 times in 250 years. That's not a lot of amendments. I think that America has changed more than just 27 bullet points in the last 250 years. Keeping in mind about 10% of the U.S. Constitution is making sure that black people are treated as people. And it still took another 100 years of death, destruction, burning down our towns and our business districts and hanging us and all the other stuff. So as we progress through the 21st century, we still see that, in some areas, yeah, there's been progress. And I'm talking about black people. And I'm talking to black people. I know the white people want to be involved in every single conversation, and you can to the extent that you want to learn, because white folks are just as ignorant as anybody else is. They are ignorant, plus they have a lot of power, and the way this nation is set up, the way states are set up and local governments are set up, it's set up for them in ways that they don't even understand. So I've got to explain to them so they can better grip how the bias encourages them to be disrespectful to us. Now, in recent years, the black African American voter has become very important. Hasn't he and she become important in deciding races, especially in some of these races that are very close calls? And people that are traditionally Republicans maybe are finding themselves maybe moving into the independent category or the moderate category. But I like to pride myself on the fact that we are African Americans from the city of Milwaukee. And whenever there's a campaign or an election, we get a lot of attention. All the presidents come and the vice presidents come and they have rallies and they have campaign events. I'll bet 1 in 10 people that are watching this podcast right now, whether live or later, have met Kamala Harris or been to one of her events or been to one of her rallies. And maybe 1 in 20 or 30 of you have met Donald Trump if you live in the state of Wisconsin or if you're from Milwaukee, because we're very important. So we have this real big Democratic primary coming up, and I've been talking about it a lot because it seems like nobody else is, not even the candidates themselves, are just pretending like the world is not on fire. So first I'm going to say this. I'm going to be voting for David Crowley. It's not that his campaign is perfect. It's not that he is hitting all of the marks he needs to. But when I scatter the candidates across the political floor, he is the one that I can feel the most comfortable with. Even if David makes mistakes, I'm more comfortable with his mistakes than with any other candidate. So there's this lady. She's an Asian lady from the Madison area. Her name is Francesca Honk. She's winning. She's a Democratic socialist. She's super duper liberal. I'm going to pause on that for just 1 second. Do you guys remember when a super liberal candidate that was a Democrat was all for like African Americans and they promoted African American voting rights and black representation? Do you guys remember when the Democrats actually would talk about that? They don't talk about it anymore. And that is an impact of Trumpism on American politics. You don't talk about black progress anymore because even white Democrats see that if black people are prioritized, then white people are going to lose. We got 7 candidates that are running for governor in the state of Wisconsin. I am supporting David Crowley, and I'll stand on that. A lot of people may question that decision, but by the time we get to the end of this program, you'll have a better understanding as to why. There was even a period of time when Democrats were like, "Oh, the immigrants, we got to stand up for the rights of the immigrants." You know what the Trump administration did? Killed 2 white people in a protest in Minnesota, and now the white Democrats and the white liberals, they ain't saying shit about protecting the migrants anymore. Have you noticed that it's fallen silent? There's no protests anymore. They don't talk about protecting the undocumented. The Democrats are like, nah, if it means that Trump's ICE agents are now shooting white people, fuck them migrants. I want you to pay attention to this now because in Wisconsin, a battleground state of all battleground states where you have 7 different Democrats running, you would think that all of these different issues and bullet points that Democrats used to hold dear would be front and center. They're not talking about none of this shit. And their silence is deafening, but I'm concerned about black voters. White people, you're going to be fine. The whites are, you guys are in good shape. And if you're not in good shape, there's shit I can do about it. You fucked up somewhere along the way. It's not my problem. I'm worried about my people because I live amongst them. I talk to them every day. And if black people are going to fuck something up, they're going to fuck up something probably very close to me. So I want to provide information to black people. So Francesca Hong is winning. And I've kind of resigned to the fact that she is going to be the Democratic nominee. I'm going to grab a telephone call, but I want to show you guys something that I noticed about Francesca Hong's campaign. Is this Linda? Hey, Linda, how are you?
Sherwin, I don't want to apologize, but I do want to apologize because that's what you make me do when you get to preaching and teaching. It just, stirs me up, and then to, really see it in my daily living, and, being educated, and, really resonating with what you're saying. It just really, it just really takes me back to the times when they did have the dogs in their hoses, and the lynching was legal. You know what I'm saying? It's like we have not progressed racially. But I'm so sick of it, Sharon, because the ignorance in the drugs is what's taking us out, man.
You think so? The ignorance and the drugs? I think one more than the other. But all right, fair enough.
Yeah, education, the lack of education, and the pressures of oppression, economic oppression, and then we're all born into poverty and trauma, and it has its effect on how we think, how we perceive, how we decide, how we live. And so all of it plays into what we see today.
No, not all of us are born into poverty and trauma. There are some people that are not born into poverty and trauma that are perfectly fine. There are people, you're right, that are born into poverty and trauma and they become
Who
more
is not
successful.
born into trauma, Sharon? Show me that one person.
You think that born in trauma is like being born in a war zone where the hospital is being bombed and the mother has to give birth in the woods. Born in trauma
It's a,
is being the victim of a sexual assault and your family disowns you and you're homeless when you're pregnant. Look, we got to stop like throwing the trauma word around because sometimes when people face shit that they don't like or if something is tough, we automatically call it trauma because everybody wants a soft life. Nothing has ever been
I
promised to be soft. So I just don't want to overuse trauma because there's like legitimate trauma. Like people that go to fucking war and get shot at and get their limbs blown off. That shit is traumatic. Somebody getting pulled over by the police because their tags were expired. They'll call that shit trauma too. I got pulled over by the police. I'm traumatized. No, you dumb motherfucker. You didn't register your vehicle. It's a very big difference. And let's not relegate I don't know who you're talking about, black people or everybody, but all black folks are not born into trauma and poverty. And we got to stop that narrative because that's why they treat us like we're less than human because they think that we're all fucking pitiful. We're not.
Okay, then I'm going to say survival then, because it is through survival that we learn who we are. We learn our strengths, our weakness, and what have you.
Linda, do you
And
think
so
that the
in life,
75% of black people that are comfortably middle class are born in survival mode? I'm talking about 2-parent families, two incomes.
Yeah.
Everybody has health insurance. They live in the fucking suburb. The majority of black people actually live in the suburbs and in rural areas. So the shit that we see in the city, that's not even the majority of black people. The majority of black people actually have left the city. So no, it's
And
not
that's
as
what I
bad
wanted
as you
to
may
ask
think.
you.
Okay.
And that was the next question, because when Morales was chief and he was doing those town halls, he pointed out that there's only 8 families in Milwaukee that's causing 80% of the crime. So I was just wondering, did that go up? Did it go down? Did these families have grandchildren and they're in the market now? I'm just wondering, because it seems to
Do you
be a
ask? Do you
small
believe, Linda?
percentage that's
You
being
believe that what
exploited.
you believe? What he said that 8 families are
He
causing
said
eighty
that it was
percent.
8 families that's causing 80% of the crime in Milwaukee.
Then if that was true, which it's not, it's way more than, because anybody can go commit a crime. A woman can go get mad at her husband for cheating and go blow his brains out right now, and she's not a part of those 8 families. So crime is transient, and any person could commit a felony at any point in time anywhere in the city of Milwaukee. But let's just say it was 8 families committing 8% or 80% of the crime. If the fucking police know who those 8 families are, arrest all of them,
Right,
indict all of them, and charge all of
right.
them. I think that minimizes the problem. I think some of it is cultural,
Yeah.
some of it might be poverty, some of it is people that are not even fucking from here. There are people that come from worse places. It could be another country, it could be another city where the poverty there is worse, the opportunities here are more, and they bring crime to Milwaukee, and Milwaukee residents end up being victims. But Linda, let me continue my program. I got some stuff I want to share, and if
Okay,
you want to
honey.
call back after I share this
Okay.
stuff, you're welcome to do so. Okay, thank you, Linda, for calling. All black people ain't fucking born into trauma and survival mode. Fuck that shit. I grew up in the suburbs. I had a telephone and a TV in my room when I was 12. I had a Nintendo gaming system in my room. My mother had a cell phone in her car in 1990. It's not everybody. Okay, let me be clear. Okay, Francesca Hong, I gotta get this out because black people, nobody gives a fucking shit about you. Nobody does. I expected more from the African American candidates that are running for governor. I shouldn't, because they are a part of the whole Democratic ecosystem. Where if the party platform of the Democrat, just like if you're a cop, right? And they say, oh, cops are all racist, but then we'll say some shit like, oh, black cops can't be racist. Well, if the system of policing has got bias in it because we over police certain neighborhoods, then yes, the black cops are participating in that system. Now, they can make incremental changes, but at the end of the day, they have to follow whatever their orders are from their commanding officer, right? So I think that gets confusing. And because you have black people that are running as Democrats, does not mean that they are not going to implement and emulate the Democratic Party platform that is ignoring black people. We have a referendum coming up in November, and none of these candidates are talking about it, which is going to make anything related to diversity, equity, and inclusion unconstitutional in Wisconsin. Not illegal, but against the Constitution. Because if it was just made illegal, quote unquote, then we could pass another law making it legal again. But there's a referendum where 84% of the voters in the state of Wisconsin are white, both Democrat and Republican. Do you think that white people in the state of Wisconsin are going to vote to maintain DEI? Fuck no, they're not. And why should they? Fuck that. And the Democrats, including the black ones, are not even talking about it because they still want those 84% of white voters in Wisconsin to vote for their black asses. That's a problem. The second thing I'm going to say is I will never vote for another black candidate that is being managed by white consultants. Ever. Ever. Because they pull our candidates away from the black community. You mark my words, and this podcast is going to live forever. I will never vote for another black candidate that chooses white consultants that tries to mold and shape a black candidate to be palatable to racist white people. Fuck them both. Do whatever you want to do. I'm just not going to vote for you. And I'm going to bring a whole bunch of people with me. So then you got Francesca Hong, who is the leader in this crowded pack because her base of support is very unique because her supporters are not going to vote for anybody else. David Crowley's supporters might vote for Mandela. Kelda Roy's supporters might vote for Sarah Rodriguez, the lieutenant governor. Missy Hughes' supporters, no relation, may vote for Joel Brennan. Francesca's supporters are voting for her. So I saw this thing that she posted. I wanted to share this with you. It's her little campaign, little platform. She says that she is the only candidate that supports the moratorium on data centers. We know that the Democratic Socialists and this new liberal boy, they hate that goddamn data center. They'll burn a data center down faster than they'll run a Tesla off the road. So her platform supports a moratorium on data centers, and we saw the Party for Socialism and Liberation overtake a town hall meeting where they think a data center is going to be built at Midtown. It's not the data center that everybody should be afraid of, but just follow that theme for a second. So Francesca, and those are Francesca's people now. The Party for Socialism and Liberation, which is a gay rights, queer rights group that found it necessary to take advantage of a town hall meeting in the majority black second aldermanic district to shout down the alderman and not let residents, all of the residents, be heard. So we're going to come back to them in a second as well. But Francesca, who is likely going to be the Democratic nominee, if anything, assuming nothing major changes, she's going to be the one that's going to face off against Tom Tiffany in November. So her platform is supports the moratorium on data centers, funds public schools, and cuts property taxes by taxing the rich, which she won't be able to do. She also wants to cut the voucher program where 70% of the children in the voucher program are black. She wants to put black children that are in low performing public school districts back in the shitty public schools. You know who sends their kids to private schools? Teachers do. You know who also gets to send their kids to the same high quality schools that teachers send their kids to? Teachers don't send their kids to MPS. Are you insane? Why would they do that? Just like the manager at McDonald's doesn't eat that shit. That shit's for the customers to eat. Roll back unfair voucher laws, public dollars belong in public schools. Every child deserves a strong and comprehensive education. Voucher programs lack transparency. She doesn't even know what a fucking voucher program is. A voucher program is a coupon that allows a family that can't afford a $10,000 semester tuition to go to Pius, to go to Thomas More, to go to Dominican. It allows that family to go to that school. She wants to roll that back. Well, why, Sherwin? Why does she want to roll that back? Because white liberals that send their kids to private schools don't want ghetto black children going to the schools where white liberal union loving teachers send their kids. And so they have this as almost a universal platform. Don't let me get off my square. I ain't done. She wants to protect labor and civil rights in the age of AI. I'm just going through Francesca Hong's little campaign platform. So she does mention civil rights, but only in respect to artificial intelligence, not our civil rights, not our voting rights. Doesn't make mention of the DEI referendum on the ballot. I'm not done. I got more to say. She wants to take on monopolies, private equity, and corporate abuse. Okay, cool. Address structural issues that makes housing expensive. I suppose that's a winning issue because we just found out recently that housing in Milwaukee and in the upper Midwest is more expensive than anywhere else. Okay, good. Here's the shit that's got me fucked up. There's no mention of African Americans. There's no mention of the harm that Donald Trump has done. There's no mention to the harms that the Republican Party in Wisconsin has done to black people and black culture and black progress. No mention of that in her fucking bullet points, right? But look who she mentions. Protects without compromise queer Wisconsinites. She put this on her campaign correspondence to let it be known that she'll mention queer people by name and not black people. This is what you have to know about Democratic Socialists. It's why I didn't fuck with Bernie Sanders, because Bernie Sanders would do the same thing. They want to ignore black issues because there's racism in Democratic Socialism, like there is racism everywhere in America. There's not shit in her platform that addresses our harms. It's like with this shit, she doesn't even want black people to vote for her. You know how dangerous this is if a candidate wins in these days and times where Trump is still president for the foreseeable future? Fuck, Trump might be president forever. And you have a candidate running in Wisconsin that won't even address the harms that Trump has done and won't address the harms that black people have suffered at the hands of Donald Trump, including a referendum to make unconstitutional DEI. She wants to roll back the school voucher program, which gives black children the opportunity to get out of shitty schools. When I say shitty schools, they don't teach black kids to read. 9% of fourth graders can read fourth grade shit. 91% of fourth graders cannot read fourth grade shit. There's some parents that say, not good, don't like, bad school, want to go elsewhere. Where are the good schools? Sometimes they're suburban, but if you can't afford to live in Whitefish Bay or Fox Point or somewhere else, then you have to look for other options to educate your child. That's why we have the parental choice program. That's why 70% of the people that use it are black, and Francesca Hahn wants to take that away. Not only are black people not mentioned, nothing about it. It's almost like we don't really exist. Linda says Fran needs the WH women vote in Milwaukee. She also doesn't mention Hispanics. You are correct. You would think that somebody like her, she would have a pro-immigration stance. They took all that shit out. And Wisconsin primary voters are the most liberal you'll find in the state, and they're usually okay with that shit. Now, this is the thing. What I'm reading from her is her as a candidate. The voters are much more flexible with what a potential candidate says in their platform. Like, she could put in stuff about black people. Like, oh, we got to protect voting rights. Oh, we got to make sure that DEI, and I understand that DEI has got to be specific, but there are like contract requirements in Wisconsin, as an example, where for many, many years, black people could not get state contracts. When I say a state contract, let's say the UW dorms at 5 different schools need to be painted. Well, UW staff aren't always hired to paint the dorms. They'll contract out for it because it's actually a lot cheaper than paying state employees to paint a bunch of dorms. Wisconsin has a 5% requirement. Now, 5% is a very small number, but Wisconsin also spends billions of dollars of different services. So let's say there's a contract to paint the dorms at UW Madison and the Whitewater and the Stevens Point and UW Milwaukee and the UW Eau Claire and the UW Stout. Nobody goes to UW Stout, but let's just say that's in the contract. Because the state has a legal requirement, it was actually passed under Tommy Thompson, that 5% of all the state spending has got to go to black owned or minority owned contractors, in this case, a painting contractor. Well, 5% is small. 5% of several billion dollars means millions of dollars a year rather, are dedicated to African American contractors. That shit is going to be taken out completely with this DEI referendum that Francesca is not even mentioning. Then you have these people. These are also Democratic Socialists. These people are the ones that are going to be at Midtown on Thursday to make themselves known, to stop Alderman Mark Chambers from having yet another community conversation with his constituents. So these people are aligned with this lady, who are also mentioned by name in her campaign platform. Here's Sherwin. Here's Francesca. If you look at what I have in parentheses, she names the queers. And shout out to the queers, because y'all have now moved ahead as far as a priority constituency. You've moved ahead of black people. That, I didn't see that coming. That wasn't on my bingo card. And then you have her wanting to roll back this voucher program, which 70% of the participants are black. And you have these people coming into the second district to break up and to get more attention and more publicity for themselves, because these people support this lady. I'm voting for David Crowley. I wish his campaign was doing better, but at this point, I don't know if I could sleep Voting for anybody else. JD the Poet says David has no clear path to victory and Mandela is definitely going to lose. Who would you endorse against Tom? I don't know. I don't if Francesca doesn't do a public about face on this shit, there's no fucking way I'm voting for her. My vote isn't. It's not one of that kind of. You can't hold my vote hostage. Can't. Now I know that Tom Tiffany is not gonna do us any favors, but the party that we expect to do our favors is not doing us any favors either. Let me say this about the resilience of my people. We're gonna be fine. Shit's been fucked up for us for 400 years. Francesca Hong gets elected governor. Let's say she does. She's gonna make a wonderful mess out of shit because the legislature is not gonna work with her. Because a lot of the things that she's going to want to do, she's going to need other Democratic socialists in the state assembly and the state senate to back her, and there's not enough of them. And what will happen is the entire state will suffer. Black people will suffer too, but we'll be fine because we're always fine. And our panic is not contingent upon white panic because the white folks are going to freak out. They're going to realize they made a terrible mistake. I can't vote for somebody who was telling me on the onset who they are. And I have nothing against these people, but these people are mentioned by name by this lady who has this platform that takes away our opportunity to send our kids to better schools. And also, these people are coming into the black community on full disrespect mode because these people don't give a fuck about people that look like the black guy in this flyer right here. It's all connecting the dots. I'm voting for David just because at this point it's a moral thing. Even though David is not being loud enough on the referendum because he's afraid he's going to scare white people too, which look, if you know that you have no pathway for victory, because what David can do is he can create a potential future for another black candidate to run statewide. They can learn from David's mistakes. There might be places where David Crowley is going to do surprisingly well. Somewhere outstate, maybe he's going to do well in like Iron County, somewhere way up north, or maybe up by Superior, he does well. Then that means then the next black candidate that decides to run for statewide office, which I would not encourage, they could start in one of those obscure places where David made some surprising inroads. His campaign, in my opinion, did not do enough to make Milwaukee voters feel comfortable enough with him as a potential governor. It's easy to get comfortable with somebody as a county executive because we have a lot of local government. We have city government, we have alderpersons, we've got the municipal court. We have so many levels of local government that a county executive they just sign a bunch of shit. They might veto some shit. They might say this about protecting the parks. They might say some shit about getting more federal money for homelessness. We have a lot of latitude for our county executives, but being county executive and being governor is way different. Like a governor gets to launch the National Guard. David can't launch the National Guard. I don't even know if David can get the sheriff's department to listen to him. But so being governor is a huge step. And I personally, and I'm trying to be as connected as I possibly can. I try to have my ear to the street. You know, I've worked in politics for many years. A lot of folks call me. I've helped get a lot of people elected. All the people I got elected were all black except for Joe Caston when she ran for re-election in the assembly. And I fucking regret that shit because she's a turncoat. If hindsight being 2020, I never would have supported Joe Caston because she just turned out to be a fucking liar. But I pride myself on getting black people elected so that they can help us and represent us from a higher level. Doesn't mean that those black people that I help get elected are going to deal with racism, but they're going to deal with racism, and they're also going to deal with racism at the same time that they have the ability to make policy. So I don't want anyone to think that once we get black elected officials or you get a black governor, which we're not going to get this cycle, that they can fix shit for black people, but they can shed light on things that only a black candidate and elected official can shed light on credibly. But these people are coming to this meeting because, see the black guy right there? Because these people have been prioritized by this lady who wants to roll back this program that helps people that look like that black guy and his kids go to different schools. Linda said the ops hate Sherwin when God wants you, the devil wants you to. You know what, Linda? I don't think they give a fuck about me. I think that they have so deprioritized black people. Good Karma Brands did. Good Karma Brands started the truth. They got what they could out of us. They got a lot of publicity. We got a lot of attention. Tori Lowe won a lot of awards. State Broadcasters Association awards. Dr. Ken, our morning shows won a bunch of awards. Our other hosts and producers won a bunch of awards. I won some little bullshit. You know, I should take my camera and I got an awards room. I don't want y'all to think that I don't win awards, but the only awards that I want are from black people. And black people will like, I got an award from like, I, was it Mount Zion? I think it was Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church. And they honored me with a fucking church service. That's probably 10 years ago. And we went to church. My whole fucking family came. It's this little Baptist church somewhere off of Capitol somewhere. And we went to church. My family was there. And they gave me this little certificate that somebody printed off on like an old dot matrix printer. That was the most important award I ever got in my life from a little black church. That shit means something to me. Getting awards from white people is frightening because I have to reassess what the fuck did I do that I didn't scare them properly. So we were with Good Karma Brands. They got, I guess, whatever they could out of us, and they fucking sold us because we're just black people are deprioritized. Now, the complaints that some of you may have with the initial launch of Milwaukee Black Media, rest assured changes are coming, but I want to, with your help, reprioritize black voices and black media in a world where someone like this lady prioritizes these people who on Thursday are going to stage a protest in this guy's district because these people have been prioritized by this lady as evident in her campaign platform that does not mention anything about us. And she also wants to take away this thing, too, that allows the black children to go to the better schools. I'm voting for David. Is David going to appreciate the fact that I'm voting for him? I don't know. But I don't want to vote for this lady who has a base of these people who are coming into this black fella's district because they want to get more notoriety and publicity for this lady and her platform. That's how that's gonna go. Jasmine says, hey, black churches make you feel like you're doing God's work. It's humbling. It sure was. That's the award that mattered to me. And then somebody sent me like this crystal thing. I should go get it. Should I get it? You guys want to hang on for a second? Hold on for a second. I'll be right back. Hold on. Hang on. I'll be right back. Hold on. All right. So look, I want to show you this. Will somebody tell me who did this? Because they never identified themselves. Hold on. This shit is beautiful and it's heavy. So it's glass and it's got like it's thick and it's heavy and it's got all my accolades etched in it. Like this shit was expensive and it came in a fucking in a box. It's got like a look. It came like with his own little casket. Are you seeing this? Well, so I nobody ever told me who made this. It says listener award, #1 national and local political correspondent. Which fuck it, if Tory can be the most requested advocate in the state, I can be the #1 national political correspondent. It says best DJ in the state. I don't fucking DJ, but I'll take it. I play music sometimes on my show. What else does it say? It says gifted new music creator. So this was shortly after I came out with Blue Mist, my AI jazz album, which is actually doing surprisingly fucking well. Blue Mist just turned 1 year old in May. And it says presented to Sherwin Hughes, always giving us what we need. And nobody ever, can you see it? Fucking so dope. Cause a white person would not fucking do this shit. It's a piece of fucking crystal. Thank you. This means the world to me. I got this shit on display. People come to my house like, oh shit, Sherman, what's that? I was like, that's my Oscar from a mysterious black. So if you guys know who did, maybe I don't want to know who gave that to me, but that's the kind of shit that. And so that being said, we have been deprioritized pretty significantly by the party that we have helped become successful. And I don't know how this shapes up for 2028 because this lady, there she is right there. Look at her in the legislature doing anti black shit. I had her on my show and I was a fucking sucker because I asked her point blank, what are you going to do about black people? Or for black people? I kind of did it to put her on the spot. You know what she said? She didn't give me a policy answer, and my stupid ass just accepted it. She was like, I want everybody to love black people. I was like, all right, she's on the record, on the air in public saying she wants people to love black people. I'll give her a fucking pass. She wasn't prepared with any policy, which when you think about it is disrespectful. If you're going to a black radio station to talk to a black host, shouldn't you have some shit ready to talk about? Hey, Sherwin, I want to let you know I've got a program and I've got some funding ideas and some policy bullet points that I'd like to share with you and your audience about why they should vote for me because here's what I'm going to work on. And you don't even have to promise to deliver the shit. Just say, hey, I'm going to go to Madison. I'm going to work on a bunch of shit. Or how about this? You're going to go on a black radio station where the overwhelming majority of the people that listen to me are voters. And you say, hey, black people that are voters, what can I do? What would you like for me to do? What are your areas of priorities? Or say, hey, I'm Francesca Hong. She didn't say none of this shit, by the way. Here's the shit that I've done since I've been in the legislature to make lives easier for black people in Milwaukee, in working class communities. Here's some shit that I've done. Here's what I've supported. I supported Badger Care. She didn't even come with that shit. If I'm going, let's say I go to the Asians and I'm running for governor and I'm going to an Asian radio station. I'm gonna have all the bullet points. I mean, first I'm like, I love your food. Nah, that's kind of racist, but I do. I fucking love Chinese food. But I'm gonna say, here's what I've done to address issues in your community. Here's what I will do if you vote for me. Here's the champion that you will get. She ain't do none of that shit because she is more concerned about these people. And here's the thing, because I know these folks are very fucking sensitive. I don't want these people to think that I'm against them. I'm not against these people. I'm just for my people because I love my people a lot because y'all have shown me love. Hey, Al, how are you?
I'm doing good. Well, first of all, I want to say everybody love black people until they want some pussy and dick.
Oh.
But I want to say this: David Crowley, big dick nigga. Black people are gonna give you their vote. So stand there with them big long horse nuts and make your motherfucking presence. They're gonna automatically fear you due to your skin. in your presence. David Crowley, big dick nigga. Let them know who they fucking with. Because you only going to get one chance. Don't fuck up your chance, baby boy. Go in there and make these people understand that you are the big dick nigga. Have a great day.
Thank you, Al. Not not the words I would have used. Okay, I wouldn't have used those words to. That's fine. That's okay. He can use those words. Reggie, I wanna read your comment. I know you might have been like being kind of tongue in cheek about it, but I don't know. Reggie says, "Well, I need my riot gear at the Midtown gathering on Thursday. These people are coming to fuck shit up because one of their priorities as queer people is obviously getting their civil rights protected, and they're going to get it with this lady because it's in her official platform to protect their rights. But because we are not mentioned in her platform anywhere, these people want to shout down residents of this district that is majority black because they don't give a fuck about black people. And I can say that honestly because if they did, they would just come to the Midtown meeting to learn and to get information and to fucking listen. They are going to, first of all, they're probably going to have more people there than residents. They're going to take over that fucking meeting. Now, I want you guys to just think for a second. A bunch of white liberals coming into a community where they were not invited to shout down an alderman. Listen, you can hate data centers 6 ways from fucking Sunday. Absolutely, you can. But to shout down the alderman to where the alderman can't talk to his constituents, because this is the stuff that we want our alder persons to do. Even if we disagree, let the residents be the ones to get the information and to disagree. They're not even going to let people get the information. I got a problem with that because I am in the information business in a world in which information is scarce because most of the shit y'all hear and you read is fucking fake. And they're coming into a place where they are unwanted because these fucking people, have the backing of this lady who mentions these people specifically in her platform right here that I have in parentheses. Let's just leave that up. Now, this is no hate and no shade to Fran. Because if you can find a way to the Democratic nomination without burdening yourself with dealing with the unruly black youth and poor test scores and high poverty and food deserts and lead water laterals, that's a lot of stuff. Can we admit that the black community has got a lot of stuff that needs to be addressed, most of which have got to be addressed with policy and with policymakers and with a good governor and a cooperative legislature and a cooperative court. Let me be fucking clear. The Democratic legislature that is going to be sworn in come 2027 is also going to be because of black votes. The liberal leaning state Supreme Court, we show it out for them fucking candidates. And here's what's crazy. The majority of the state Supreme Court is all white liberal women who also don't give a fuck about us, but we put their asses there. And now they're going to get potentially a gubernatorial candidate that is more prioritizing of fucking these people because they're coming to a meeting to overtalk this guy because this lady likes these people more than the black guy right there down there in the corner. And this is just, it's what it is. And it's disrespectful. I'm voting for David because now it's like my vote has got to be representative of my moral beliefs. And morally, I can't vote for somebody that will prioritize and name them. Not even LGBTQ. Fucking, I don't even know what queer is. Is that a new one? I know they're probably going to be mad at me. The queers are. I don't know what the fuck they mad at me for. Y'all have a candidate for governor. We don't have shit. We're just going to get more homicides and street takeovers. That's what we're going to get. So the queers, why would they get mad at me? They got a fucking candidate that's, let me hear. Where is it? Let me put it up. Let's leave it right there. There you go. All right, let's see what we got going on in the YouTube. No, it's just frustrating, guys. Because we've made a lot of progress, and unlike maybe they just, what happened was after Kamala lost, a lot of black women were like, you guys remember that? They were showing all the memes and shit. Of black women were just like, fuck it, we're done. We're not participating in no shit no more. They showed these memes and these pictures as black women minding their business. The Democrats picked up on that and was like, fuck all you niggers. Fuck you. You're going to walk away from us because your candidate didn't win? All right, then. Then we're going to prioritize these people. These people that I have pictured right here on YouTube are going to come out in fucking droves. All of them. All wherever they are, because they're in all 72 counties. If you're related or affiliated with or supportive of the queers, oh, you got your girl. Just like if we had a candidate that put a bunch of bullet points relating to black people, there's nothing in here that we can take from her campaign platform. Nothing. Fuck would you vote for that for? For what? You know how I say all people of color are not united? Here you go. You guys remember the story from fairly recently? Made its rounds virally on the social media. The Asian man that shot the black boy in the back accused the black boy of stealing 4 bottles of water. Very specific. Security cameras in the convenience store showed that the black boy grabbed 4 bottles of water, put them back, probably because they were too fucking expensive. And then the black boy leaves the store. And the Asian man chased him for, they say, the equivalent of 130 yards and shot him in the back. 130 yards is longer than a football field, including both fucking end zones. That's longer than a 100-yard touchdown pass. The Asian man shot the black boy in his back. All people of color are not united. Now, also, if you're one of the immigrant people, because listen, somebody mentioned that the immigrants are moving into the north side. Fuck yeah, they are. I don't know what kind they are. They moved in at the end of my street. I live in the black community. In fact, I live right around the corner from Homer. Me and Homer, it's our hood over here. I think they're Mexicans. Shout out to them. Here's what they doing. I don't fuck with them. They don't fuck with me. They also live far enough down the block to where, listen, they doing their thing. Sometimes I be having the parties, be playing the mariachi and shit. I be shaking my head a little bit to the mariachi. That shit is kind of upbeat. But they're down the block. They got cars parked in the fucking front yard. They park cars in the alley. And there's a Nissan. No, it's not a Nissan. It's a Infiniti G35 that's up on jack stands on the fucking street. Okay? Listen to me now. It's a bunch of them in that house. I guarantee you ain't not one of them legal. It's like 5 of them in the house. And here's what's crazy. The girl that sold the woman, I went to high school with her. So a woman I went to high school with lived on my same block for like, I think she was here a couple years before I got here. So she was here at least 20 years. And she sold her house, or I think she might be renting it to him. I don't know. But it's like 5 of them. Got cars parked on the lawn and shit. I don't say nothing to them. Because it's ugly and it's unsightly. But you know what? In the years that I've been here, I've probably done some foul shit too. I made some noise and I had some parties that got a little loud and unruly. So I got a lot of latitude for people. But yes, they are moving over to the north side. But am I out there protesting and shit for them? I'm not, because I'm not going to get shot protesting for people that opted to come to this country. You knew how fucked up America was. You knew Trump was president and you wanted to come here anyway. And then you want us to risk our lives to maintain your ability to stay here. I mean, I won't call ICE on you, but I'm also not going to write a letter of recommendation either. You know what I mean? Because I have my people I got to worry about, and we deal with so much shit in the city of Milwaukee. You had a bunch of youth that just broke into this man's warehouse and destroyed his antiques. He was an antique collector. He had 30 years worth of his life, and a bunch of black kids broke in his fucking warehouse. And he said, "Oh, I'm not gonna call the police on them. I'm gonna pay them and give them summer jobs, and I'll pay them to clean up my warehouse that they fucking broke." I withheld most of my opinions on that story because one of my colleagues on the radio, Ray Nitty, who does the lunch break with Shannon from noon until 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth, which is my day job. Ray Nitty was there, and he also didn't want to call the police on those boys who were aged, I guess, 9 to 19, including one of them was on an ankle monitor. In that situation, I think one of those boys they basically got let off with destroying priceless memorabilia that someone spent their lifetime collecting. I think one of those boys needs to murder somebody. Because then, and only then, will we realize that the leniency you show criminals with no remorse, and that's what the fuck they are, to destroy somebody's property. They didn't even want to steal it and sell it. I got respect for somebody that wants to steal shit and sell it because they need money. It's still fucked up. But to just destroy some shit, you are a born fucking criminal. So what needs to happen? I'm sick of looking at her. Let's look at me. Fuck that. I think one of them needs to kill somebody because they got away with a crime in which they should have done some confinement to get some necessary discipline that they don't have and some morality that has not been instilled in them. And I think they need to kill somebody, because then we'll say, oh shit, if somebody gets caught destroying somebody's property, maybe we should get them involved in the criminal justice system. You can't fucking save everybody. You can't. And some of these kids, like, you know how many brothers go to prison and be like, Sherman was the best thing to happen? There's a guy that calls my show. He's been calling me for a long time. His name is Sherman. He went to prison for 11 years. He's like, I'm a better fucking person because I went to prison. He was like, oh, I was terrible. I needed to go to prison. He's like, I earned it. I deserved it. I'm a better person because of it. I don't want to rob somebody of their opportunity to be a better person by going to fucking prison. Who am I to say, no, continue to destroy shit in the black community? No. We'll forgive you. And again, I'm not coming down on my colleagues because they exhibited a kind of moral judgment that I have to reach real deep down to find. And they didn't know these kids, but I'll say this. If it was a member of my family that I knew destroyed somebody else's shit, I don't give a fuck if you're a member of my family. You need to go to jail because you're embarrassing for our family. I want them to get that lesson. Not Really a City Girl says, I don't think anyone needs to lose life. Yeah, let me tell you why they do. Not Really a City Girl, because black people have hard heads and soft asses. Because we think that, oh, we're going to save these kids. If you're fucking 9 years old and you were able to get away with destroying somebody's fucking property and they're going to pay you to clean up that fucking destruction, that child is not going to say, wow, I probably shouldn't fuck anything else up again. A 9-year-old child is going to rationalize by saying, I'm going to go fuck up more shit because, first of all, it's fun. I can get away with it. And maybe if I break somebody's shit, they'll pay me to clean it up. That sends the wrong fucking message. When I say, no, do I want somebody to die? Fuck no, because it'll probably be me that'll get shot. Do I want someone to die? No. But then we'll see, like, oh, fuck. When somebody commits a crime, they should be held responsible for it. And I think we need to do, like, I don't know, a fundraiser for the guy or a GoFundMe or something, because he's out probably $100,000. JD the Poet says, what'd you say, JD? Read some of these comments. Talking to Reggie, said he's talking shit. If Fran gets elected, she'll be far less effective than Evers. She is too partisan. Yeah, she doesn't have any allies. So what Fran would have to do if she got elected, she'd have to sell out. Democratic socialists are, think of how hard-nosed, if you're a Trump supporter right now, you don't give a fuck about anything. You love Trump blindly. Democratic socialists are that, but on the left. They are just as hard-nosed. So Fran compromising with the Republicans would be the end of her career, but as governor, you fucking have to. Fran compromising with neoliberal, moderate, centrist Democrats would also be selling out. She's fucked either way. I think she's going to realize that if she gets elected governor, she's not going to want to be governor because she doesn't have very many friends. Because these people, what the fuck kind of policies if these people go to Madison to support a bill, that fucking bill is going to lose. Beautiful Soul says, our children don't need pity. They need education, structure, resources, accountability, and consequence. Fuck yeah. What do we always say? We had discipline growing up. We would do fucked up shit. Don't get us wrong, but there was a price to pay, and we had to weigh. Do I want to go run with this group that's they're gonna do some fucked up shit? Because if we get caught, I have consequences. These kids' consequences is pay. I also don't like how we've just softened everything to where we got filthy fucking neighborhoods, and just somebody else will come and clean up the black community. What the fuck kind of shit is that? That makes us look like fucking animals. Everywhere we go, I don't care who you are, how you talk, how you look, how articulate you speak, how educated you are, we are looked at like we are fucking animals. And we allow the animals to be front and center in our culture because we pedestalize them as keeping it real. Yeah, I'm black and I keep it real. Real what? Real fucking stupid? Do you think the white people want white fucking trash as the poster child for white people? Fuck no, they don't. The reason why the Trump supporters gravitated toward Trump because old school establishment conservative Republicans found Donald Trump supporters because they've always existed. But old school conservative Republicans found Donald Trump and his supporters fucking disgusting. Donald Trump has always had a chip on his shoulder because Donald Trump is actually white fucking trash. He grew up with money, but like none of the morals and the scruples that come with money. And he always wanted to be an insider. Like he always wanted to be like a New York bigwig, but he's a piece of shit. So even in the 70s, they knew that Trump was a piece of shit. He only was what he was because of his father's money. He didn't have the character to be a sophisticated, Manhattan like tycoon mogul. He was just rich because of his daddy. He doesn't have the moral character to fit in with those people. And because Trump never fit in with the establishment Republicans, Trump went and got the dirtiest, filthiest, most racist, ignored, and neglected white people and said, I'm your president. And they were like, fuck yeah, be our president. That's why they're sticking by him, because those same white people that are with Trump were fucking ignored. Nobody gave a fucking shit about them. No one did. And maybe that's unfortunate, but again, that's not my fucking problem in a racist country where there are white people that nobody gives a shit about. What the fuck you want me to do? Because they give less of a shit about us. Reginald said, how many trans people have school-aged children? I don't fucking, probably not many. I don't know. I can't. It's not even trans. So this lady, where are they at? Here they are. I don't, what does it say on the sign? Hold on. Something about so-and-so is destroying the world, not trans youth. We're talking about, they're like 1% of the fucking population. It's how Kamala lost. The Democrats will put all this effort and energy into the queer people. And there's not even a lot. There's way more black people. Black people can help decide your election. But all right, whatever. What you want me to do? I don't know. I'm just a humble servant. I told the alderman to be on the safe side at the Thursday town hall meeting where these people are probably going to outnumber the people that look like the man pictured in this photo. I told him to make sure a squad was there because they're going to be really disrespectful because they don't give a fuck about black people because they have a candidate that is prioritizing them over us. Thank you guys. Appreciate you joining me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, well, shit. It's free. Like and share and all that other stuff. We do this weekdays from 7 until 8 p.m. Also, who do you want me to interview? I know I was going to ask that question via a poll. Let me know who you want me to interview, and I guess we'll interview some people on this channel as well. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.